Welcome, class of 2024, to your orientation to the Counseling Center. My name is Reka Vergas, and I'm one of the staff psychologists at the Counseling Center. And today, I'm going to be giving you an introduction to the services we offer. First and foremost, how do you get in touch with us? If you're on campus, we're located at 127 O'Boyle Hall. You walk through the main doors, and you'll take a right, followed by an immediate right, to be at our waiting room. The phone is a good way to get in touch with us during business hours. Give us a call to set up an appointment, get in touch with one of our clinicians, or to get some information on referrals. You'll also see on the screen a snapshot of the landing page of our website. I highly encourage you to look through our outreach tab and also under our resources tab for self-help that you can use on your own, or in addition to services that you might be receiving from us at the Counseling Center. Also, I highly encourage you to follow us on social media. We're on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and this is a great way for you to get a regular dose of mental health support in a manageable, bite-sized kind of way. During the school year, we are open from Monday to Thursday, 9 a.m. to 7 p.m., and on Fridays from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. So this is a good time frame for you to either imagine having an appointment during this time or for being in touch with one of our counselors. For the 2020 to 2021 academic year, we're hoping to have 6 staff psychologists, 2 staff social workers, a psychiatric nurse practitioner, 3 full-time psychology interns, 10 externs, and 5 practicum counselors. We also want to reassure everyone that all of our trainees are being supervised on an individual weekly basis by one of our licensed senior staff members. So this way you don't necessarily have to worry about the quality of care that you're getting, because you can be sure that one of our licensed senior staff members are always going to be there to supervise both your therapist and your case as a whole. So here's an overview of the services that we provide. We have individual therapy, which is free, and it is available to full-time enrolled students and our evening law students. So individual therapy can be up to 1 time a week, although some people opt for bi-weekly, which is every other week. And you have a 45 session limit. So that's a discussion between you and potentially your therapist about how you want to dose those sessions over the course of your degree. Some people use all 45 at one go. Some people don't use any of their 45, and some use a few sessions here and there across the 4 years or however long it may take you to complete your degree. We also offer group therapy. So this is free and available for all of our students, regardless of whether you are full-time or part-time. These sessions are usually 80 minutes, and we cover a variety of topics. We also offer medication consultation. This is again a free service that we offer. However, we ask that if you're interested in medication consultation, that you be in ongoing individual therapy with us. This is just to make sure that you're having regular contact with a provider in case you have any questions or concerns about the medication you may be on. We also have same-day services. So I'm going to be talking a little bit more about this in a bit, but they're generally in 2 categories: Let's Talk or an emergency assessment. And finally, we offer alternative testing, which is jointly administered with DSS. So this is accommodated testing, whether you need a distraction-free environment or whether you need extra time. These tests are proctored by Counseling Center front desk staff, and this is to make sure that we're able to provide you with a space that meets the needs that DSS has agreed with you on. We also are hoping to offer a variety of these therapy groups for fall 2020. This on your left is an example of some of the groups that we've offered in the past. Understanding Self and Others is a co-ed process group. Empowerment Group is a group for survivors of sexual assault or abuse. Confident Cardinals is for those dealing with social anxiety, grief and loss. And stress management is actually a module kind of clinic method of a group, which requires a sign up. and Mosaic is our support group for LGBT students and allies. So aside from stress management and Mosaic, all of the groups mentioned require a pre-screen. So this is to make sure that you're a good fit for the group and also that the group is a good fit to address the needs that you have. Stress management, we only require that you sign up ahead of time so that we know how many people to expect on a week-to-week basis. And also Mosaic, no requirement for sign up, no requirement for pre-screen. You're able to drop in as you would like for any week. So for now, planning is still in flux. As of now, the likelihood is that if we're able to run groups, it will be all done in person. So this is because there is a barrier for us to practice across some states due to state laws. And of course, also time zone differences. So it can be difficult to coordinate a group of people across the different time zones, even within this country or the world as a whole. So we will be making sure that groups are no larger than 10 people, including the group leaders, to make sure that everyone in the group feels safe about precautions we're taking to mitigate the effects of the pandemic. So as I mentioned, I would like to talk a bit more about same-day appointments. To start with, we'll talk about our Let's Talk option. So this will likely be done virtually or over the phone. These are informal meetings for non-urgent matters. In this situation, students might ask for support, suggestions, or recommendations to address specific concerns. These appointments are typically brief for about 20 minutes or so. And we ask that you complete some brief paperwork. Students have a maximum of 2 Let's Talk consults per semester. So this is available for students who are even not full-time enrolled students, or those who have already exceeded their 45 session limit. However, we want to stress that Let's Talk is not a substitute for ongoing therapy. So if it feels like you need more than 2 Let's Talk consults per semester, then we might advise that you be in ongoing therapy instead. So on the other hand, we also have urgent or emergency case consultations. So these will most likely be done in person only. Typically, these involve a safety evaluation of some sort to make sure that the individual is not at risk of harming their self or anyone else. We provide support, resources, ideas, and recommendations. These appointments may last a little bit longer than your normal therapy session, and we'll most likely have a follow-up to ensure that we're keeping track of all loose ends, and then we can make sure that you follow through on some of the recommendations that we've given you. So this slide talks a bit more about what to expect for the upcoming semester and possibly for future semesters. So TBH is telebehavioral health. And for individual therapy, this involves either sessions done over video or over the phone. If it's being done over video, it will be conducted over a secure platform. Firstly, you require an intake, and this is where extensive paperwork can be completed, and we can get more history from you in order to correctly assess what your needs are for therapy. We have also been able to conduct outreach over the past few months, even virtually. So we've done workshops, town halls, held supportive spaces, and launched social media campaigns. So over the course of this academic year, I'm sure we're going to be coming up with more ways to reach out to all of you so that even if you're not in therapy in any way with us at the center, there's still ways that you can benefit from the services that we offer or the resources that we have during your time here at Catholic University. For our medication consultation, our psychiatric nurse practitioner is currently holding these consultations over phone calls or video meetings. She may ask that you get blood tests or lab work done wherever is home to you at the moment, especially if you're not in DC right now. For same-day services, we will be doing the Let's Talk over phone or video, as I mentioned. However, in the case of a psychiatric emergency and you are not on campus or not in DC at the time, we will encourage you to call the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline or 911 or go to the nearest emergency room. Because we're not in the same state as you, it wouldn't be ethical to have a session with you virtually without knowing that you are, first of all, making sure that a safety evaluation is being done. So we will most likely recommend that you go somewhere to the nearest emergency room or make a call to the local police department to help you immediately. Finally, I just want to talk a little bit about confidentiality. The client rights to confidentiality are protected by District of Columbia law, the American Psychological Association's Ethics Code, and the National Association of Social Workers Code of Ethics. It is both illegal and unethical for us to violate the rights to your confidentiality. Any student 18 or above must give written permission to allow the release of information regarding any contact with the center. So if you're over 18 and your parent calls us, or your professor calls us, for example, we can neither confirm or deny that you have ever been seen at the counseling center, let alone share with them what we've talked about with you. It is important to note, though, that there are a few exceptions to this confidentiality rule. When there is a risk of immediate danger to self or others, so that means to the client or anyone around them, that is a time when we will have to break confidentiality to protect your safety. There are also other limitations to this confidentiality that we can talk about further if you choose to engage in our services at the Counseling Center. Thank you very much, and I hope you have a wonderful year ahead.
Hello, my name is Dr. Holly Weber, and I am one of the staff psychologists at the Counseling Center. Welcome, class of 2024. We're so excited for you to begin your journey at the Catholic University of America. I will be talking about what to expect as you transition from high school to college student and adjust to college life. Many students form their expectations about college long before they begin their transition and leave home. My guess is that you didn't expect to end your senior year of high school and begin your college career in the midst of a global pandemic. Beginning college is a major life transition, and it can be challenging for first-year students under even the most normal of circumstances. And unfortunately, we are not in normal circumstances. You may already be having a range of thoughts and feelings about your first year of college not being what you had hoped it would be. Know that any thoughts and emotions you are experiencing about these unexpected changes are likely a part of the normal response to loss. My colleague Karen will talk more about emotions, including how to cope when distressing emotions arise. For now, I'd like to say that it's important to acknowledge any grief reactions that do come up for you, such as sadness, disappointment, frustration, or denial, while also maintaining hope that things will get better and appreciating what is going well in your life. Some tips for coping with COVID-19 related stress are the following. Focus on what you control. This includes things like your attitude about the situation, following university COVID-19 safety guidelines, and limiting social media and news intake as needed. It may also be helpful for you to build in self-care daily routines and reach out to family and friends for support, either in person while again abiding by the university safety guidelines, or by phone or video. While all of the changes of starting college can be exciting, it can also come with a variety of challenges. Some students experience distress at some point during their first year as they're adjusting to college. And actually, most students experience distress at some point. Remember to give yourself time to adjust and treat yourself with compassion if you do find yourself struggling at any point throughout this year. Some of the common stressors that many first-year college students face include increased personal freedom and responsibility, greater time management concerns, changing relationships with family, friends, and significant others from home, forming new friendships, developing relationships with roommates and coping with conflict that may arise, as well as decisions related to dating. While some students are fortunate in making an easy adjustment to college, for many reasons, Not all transitions are easy for everyone. Often, even the most exciting and positive events in our lives carry with them significant stress in times of transition. You may notice thoughts and feelings such as the following. Why is it taking me so long to make friends? How am I going to manage my workload? How am I going to balance my academics and social life? I'm not feeling connected to CUA. Why am I not enjoying what's supposed to be the best time of my life yet? I miss home, I miss my family, I miss my friends. These kinds of reactions are perfectly normal. We often forget that our routines and support systems that served us well in the past took years to grow and develop to our satisfaction. It would be unrealistic to expect everything to click right away. So really, it's best to allow yourself some time to adjust and determine what you can do to help in the meantime. The first step towards coping is to recognize what thoughts and feelings are coming up for you. Chances are it may be a normal reaction. Think back to how you've coped in the past. How did you get through the transition from middle school to high school? And is there something similar that you can do now? You might also find it helpful to try out some of these strategies as well. Reach out to your fellow CUA students and trust the process of forming new relationships. Remember that you are not alone in this. Others are feeling lonely and overwhelmed too. Don't be afraid to share your feelings with classmates that you meet. Alternatively, you could always talk about it with people that you are already close with. This could be family and friends from home, at CUA, or elsewhere. Plan out and begin to establish your routines. Remember that you may have to adjust these as you learn what works for you and what doesn't work for you. Connect with the team of support in your residence halls. This could be your roommate, a resident assistant, community director. Attend in-person and/or virtual events that are put on by various departments on campus, including residence life. If you're struggling with a particular class, reach out to your professor or TA, or teaching assistant, I should say, sooner rather than later for help. They want you to succeed, and they can only help you if you let them know that you're struggling. Consider joining one or more of the over 100 student organizations that we have here at CUA. Adjust your expectations if things are not going as planned. Again, be patient with yourself. The foundation for a productive college career is a healthy lifestyle. This includes making sure that you get enough sleep, eating a balanced diet, and finding a physical activity that you enjoy and that you can engage in on a regular basis. Lastly, take advantage of all of the resources that we have for you on campus. There are so many places on campus where you can find community and receive support for the difficulties that you may experience during your first year, as well as throughout your college career. Some of these resources are listed and include Dean of Students, Center for Career and Academic Success, Disability Support Services, Campus Ministry, Center for Cultural Engagement, Student Wellness, and last but not least, the Counseling Center. Thank you and have a great first year at CUA.
Hello, my name is Karen Miller, and I'm a staff social worker at the Counseling Center. And let me start off by offering a warm welcome to the class of 2024. We are so excited to have you at the Catholic University of America. As my colleague Holly mentioned, things may not look the way you were expecting your freshman year to look. But under even the most of normal circumstances, freshman year can be hard, and there can be a lot of adjustments and feelings associated with it. To this segment, we'll focus on building distress tolerance and increasing your resiliency. We want you to have all the tools you need to weather the storms that may come up and that are a part of a normal college experience. Let me start by saying I really believe in the inside-out philosophy of life. If you've never seen this Pixar classic, I recommend you find a Disney Plus subscription and you watch it. There are a lot of really great life lessons. But here are a couple of the ones that I think are most important. The first is that you can feel more than one feeling at a time, even when those feelings seem like they may be in conflict with one another. I want you to think back to your high school graduation not that long ago. Perhaps you were feeling really excited and proud to be done with your schooling. And maybe you were also sad to be saying goodbye to teachers and to friends. And you might also have been disappointed that your senior year and your graduation didn't look the way that you expected it to look this year. It was totally possible and normal for you to have all three of those feelings at the same time. We can feel 2, 3, 4, or more feelings at the same time, even when those feelings seem like they might be in conflict. Another lesson from Inside Out is the idea that all of your feelings are valid, even the negative ones. And in fact, we need those hard to feel emotions as a normal and expected part of human experience. They're a way that we deal with difficult situations, and college is full of difficult situations. Hard classes, adjusting to new situations, living on your own for the first time, forming new friendships. It would be totally normal to feel lonely, anxious, sad, homesick. Those are all normal and expected feelings to have during your freshman year. And they will be balanced out with exhilaration, anticipation, joy, excitement, and all of the things you may feel as you're making new friends and having new experiences. It's totally normal to have a balance of those. Feelings are informative. They teach us something about what we're going through, and it's why we need to pay attention to them. Name your feelings. Notice where you feel them in your body. Sometimes people, when they're sad, feel a heaviness. When they're anxious, they might feel butterflies or even a tightness in their stomach. When people are angry, they frequently feel tense in their shoulders or maybe their fists clench. It's important to notice where you experience feelings in your body and also to notice the emotional toll that they take on you. It's okay to notice your emotions and allow them to pass. You can feel them, identify them, and let them go. Some people like to think about that as a leaf on a stream. A leaf might drop from a tree onto the water and the current will take it by, and you can observe that and notice it and just watch as it passes by. But what do you do when the feeling doesn't just pass by? I think that that's when you begin to engage. You can engage in the following ways. Engage in self-care. Have you eaten something? Have you been sleeping? Are you showering? Do you have a schedule that you can adhere to? That can be really normalizing and help you regulate if you're having intense emotion. Engage in mindfulness. Notice your surroundings. Use your senses. Take deep and cleansing breaths from your diaphragm. Do yoga or spend time in nature. Being mindful is a way to notice your emotions and allow yourself to feel them and then let them pass. Engage in distraction. It is totally acceptable to distract. Sometimes we just need a break. Take a walk, watch a show that you enjoy, read a book, or do something that gives you pleasure. You can always come back to the feelings or come back to the issue that's at hand and solve it once you've given yourself a break. Engage with others. Socialize, don't isolate. Spending time virtually or in person with people who are supportive and encouraging can be incredibly helpful. Make sure to reach out to others when times get difficult. Now, I'm going to say this next part twice because it's really important. Crying is normal. Crying is normal. Sometimes we have students come to the counseling center after they've had a good cry, concerned that that means that something is seriously wrong. It's not. Crying is a physiological expression of intense emotion, and it's totally normal, and it is a way to get those feelings out rather than stuffing them down. Now, it might be that if you can't stop crying for a really long period of time, days on end, or you're not eating or sleeping or able to do your activities of daily living, that the crying could become problematic. And that would be a time to come and talk to someone at the counseling center. But remember, crying is a normal expression of emotion. Ask for support. So often students think that they need to handle things on their own, that that's part of being an adult. It's not. Seek out support from people on campus that are there to help. Professors, RAs, campus ministry. All of these people are here and ready to help you. Reach out to friends. Talking with others about what's going on with you and sharing emotions is a way of forming deeper friendships and building trust with others. Sometimes you'll even find out that you're not alone and someone is experiencing something very similar, and it can feel better to have that shared experience. And if none of these things are helping, then we're here. Reach out to the counseling center, either for a walk-in or for an intake appointment, so that we can help you figure out what's going on and what you need to feel the way that you want to feel. I hope that your freshman year is filled with new and exciting experiences. Take a deep breath and enjoy this journey, and welcome, class of 2024.